How's it going, man?
Pretty good. We've been tagged. This isn't a beer review. If I didn't already tell you, are you confused?
No, it's just tasty.
Tasting Nitch started this kind of beer tube, brew tube, frequently asked question that's been going around all the different YouTube beer reviewers. And Matt from Massive Beers and Chauncey from All Things Beer was kind enough to tag us to join the rest of the beer tubers on YouTube to answer 9 questions, basically about ourselves and beer and how we got into beer.
And we're the only ones so far that I've seen that have had 2 people in the video, so hopefully we're not stepping on each other.
The ones that I've seen, yeah. So we're going to see how this works.
Yeah, I've seen a handful. I haven't watched like 90 of them or anything. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's start. We'll put the questions down in the show notes, but I guess so. We're going to do. I'll start, and then Mike's going to answer the question. I'm not going to go through all 9, and then Mike will go through all 9. That'll just get boring, and I'll probably fall asleep. So we're going to go back and forth. Okay. So the first question is, how did you get into beer geeking / why beer? Probably started from something like Newcastle or Sam Adams back in the day. It was always the more expensive option at like the bar when we were always out drinking.
Well, we didn't go to like the finest craft bars.
Well, I don't think we knew it really existed then.
No.
So I think it kind of stemmed from there. And then just slowly over the years, we started getting to better and better beers. And then just it kind of snowballed from there. And just trying all these different beers and seeing that there's more out there than just drinking beer to get really, really messed up.
Yeah.
And just wanting to try the beer for the flavor and, I can sit there and drink a 4-ounce pour versus drinking a 16-ounce tall boy of some other like macro, right?
I would drink beer even if it didn't get me drunk. That's a fact.
I think it was Joe from Jow's Arcade said like if they made non-alcoholic beer that tasted like Treehouse bitters like that, I drink it all the time.
Yep. I would drink it all day.
Yeah.
Be a problem. Yeah. I didn't really. I mean, when I first saw the question, I was thinking, well, I'm not really a beer geek, and maybe I am.
And I said, yes, you are.
Well, but it was never for me. It was like I never liked the taste of like those macro lagers and stuff that everyone drank when we were in college and stuff. You were there.
I know.
I didn't drink them. I just hated them. And when I was 21, I realized I should probably start drinking beer because
Probably stop buying those Cosmopolitan mix packs that you used to drink.
I didn't. I used to drink anything. I drink like whatever was on sale at the fucking liquor store.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
And whoever was buying me whatever I had. Anyway, so I think when a few weeks after I turned 21, I bought a friend of ours, Andy, his first legal beer because he turned 21 like 10 days later, and then he came back with a beer for me. It was a Newcastle Brown Ale, and I hated the taste of beer, but that one was like okay. I thought, I drink it now. It's not very good, but that one like really kind of pushed me toward like the idea that I could drink beer,
Yeah.
And then, but it went quick. Where then it was Guinness.
I was gonna say, is Guinness craft? Yeah, I guess you consider it craft beer, right?
I don't know. It's owned by Diageo.
Yeah. Because that was also a big gateway too after Newcastle and stuff like that. So,
but I like Guinness, and then the beer that did it for me was Rogue Shakespeare Stout. That was the first beer that I loved, and oh man, I still love it to this day. I don't care, I love it. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's just drinking things I like. It was never about like pursuing beer in this obsessive way. It's just that I never liked the taste of the crappier stuff. I mean, crappy is the wrong word for it, but
fair way to put it.
And so now I just try anything I can that's more interesting, bigger, juicier, anything that in any direction.
Crazier,
yeah. Bigger, crazier is the best way to put it because I like beers that are ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah, and I think to tack on, once you said Rogue Shakespeare Stout, this popped into my head, and I think the big beer that actually like set me over the edge was Sam Smith's Oatmeal Stout.
Oh, yes.
But yeah. So question number 2, this could kind of sort of flow into question number 3, but we'll see what happens. What's your favorite beer? Like this is like, it's almost an impossible thing to answer.
It changes by the hour.
Yeah, there's definitely one beer that Mike and I both love equally, and it's Night Shift's Caravaggio, but it's their stout that was brewed in their Barrel Society 2 years ago, and that means it's never going to be brewed again because it was only part of like their bottle subscription program. We luckily still have a couple bottles, but I don't know if I guess I could say it's my favorite beer, but can you really say it's your favorite beer if you know you can never have it after you drink those last 2 bottles?
I guess. I mean, your favorite beer is your favorite beer, no matter how available it is, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's really just hard. Like if I was gonna say my favorite style, I'd definitely say right now is definitely IPAs. It's just what I search for, what I yearn for. I just want to get the juice. The more juicier, the better, and that's where I am right now in my head. But in another year, I could go back to stouts, which was my thing. Like before this whole juicy New England IPA craze happened, right?
Yep.
So it really is. It's really a tough question to answer. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the easiest answer is just go with Caravaggio. Either that or Krakatoa. That was so fucking good.
Krakatoa is good too.
But yeah, it's tough. There was a while where I would have said Heady Topper or something, and
yeah, if you asked me like 2 years ago, I would have said Heady Topper probably
for sure. Or at Bissell, I've had like ridiculously good beers up there.
Yep.
And we've had some amazing Treehouse lately. It's hard to pick one thing. It's just I can't do it. If you want to make me gun to my head, it's going to be Caravaggio, just because we just talked about it. But let's move to the next one. That one's not a silly question, but it's too hard for someone who loves beer because it's always like the next thing that you can have.
Yeah. If you have one beer forever, what would it be? Now, the way I took this question was desert island beer. And Mike and I were talking before, and the way we were talking about it, he said it in a sense like, but I'm not going to drink beer every day. And then I was like, are you taking it as you're still going to be living your life normally and you're just going to be drinking, but that's the only beer you could drink? I'm more thinking like, you're on a desert island. What else are you going to do? You're going to drink, learn to be Green Arrow, pick coconuts. Like, I don't know. So I said, like, I'm thinking like you need to have something that's not like, as much as I love IPAs, I don't want a juicy bitter IPA every single day. I need something like a little more balanced, a little malt hop balance. So I'm thinking like a hoppy saison or like a pale ale. And I was just racking my brain trying to figure out what would be the perfect beer that I've had that I know I really, really enjoy. And I think I'd have to go with Half Acre Daisy Cutter. Mm-hmm. It's I remember I've had it recently, and I remember it being hoppier before I started getting more and more into IPAs years ago. And it definitely is a little maltier for my taste buds now, but I feel like it's still a perfect blend of like malt and hoppiness that just, I think it would make a good desert island beer that I could drink all the time.
I mean, the easy answer would be like, I don't know, like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Like I can drink those all day.
I picked a pale ale. Pale ale's like, yeah, it's
or the all day IPA.
That thing IPA is really good too. Yeah,
it's just crush all day and it's fine. You know, I went with Big Spring by Chillium though. The alcohol's a little higher. It's 7.5%, and it's sort of like this nice Kolsch inspired beer, but it's hopped and it's just delicious. It's refreshing. It's great, and I've been waiting for it all year. Can't wait to get it again. It's a really, really just a delicious beer, and for sure, it's something I can probably drink all day.
And it's not really a Kolsch. Like it's
Kolsch inspired.
Yeah. The secret is like when they first started bottling it and they were selling it out, it was sitting on shelves because I didn't think people realized how ridiculously hopped it was, and it was.
Oh, but it's delicious.
It's just like it's up there with like any of their other IPAs. It's
great.
Yeah.
But it's not overbearing. Like there's that. It's like it's Kolsch like.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Yeah,
it's great.
Next question. We good?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. How can you drink so much, and how do you stay healthy? Well, first, for how do I drink so much? I usually drink only on weekends. Like probably Thursday, I'll have a beer or two, and then Fridays, obviously, we do our reviews, and Saturdays, and then football season Sundays. Yeah, obviously, I'm drinking on Sundays, but the rest of the week, I'm usually just drinking water. I'm a seltzer nut now. It's ridiculous.
So you drink Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Most of the week you're not drinking, just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, okay, when you put it like that. No. I'll have a beer or two on Thursday. It's not really drinking. Like not like when we're doing reviews and we're doing a bunch of them, and then we're down here hanging out and whatever. But in staying healthy, I haven't been working out lately. Like I probably haven't worked out since Christmas, but usually I'll work out at home and I'll do weights, I'll sit-ups and like some cardio stuff. And I don't eat sweets. I don't eat chips. I'm not like junk food. I like try to cook most of my food. Delivery is probably like once a week. Yeah, and I don't drink soda. It's just water and seltzer really. So I don't really do much to
Poison yourself?
yeah,
Fair
other
enough.
than beer.
Yeah. I'm in horrible health. But, I mean, I've been taking strides. I stopped drinking sugar soda.
Yeah, I started getting you into seltzer.
Yeah, a couple months ago I stopped drinking sugar soda. I still have like Coke Zero sometimes, and because it still sort of tastes like Coke, it's fine to me. But generally I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of seltzers now. I've been buying like four packs, no 4 12 packs every like 2 weeks.
This house recently just upgraded to three 12 packs a week.
That's a lot. Well, you and Carrie.
Yeah.
I'm really the only one that drinks them at my place. Yeah, I eat terribly. Although everything I've been doing over the last few months has been solely steering toward it. I mean, I've eaten at home like every day this week instead of like.
Yeah, that's.
It's tough because.
Now, when you say eat at home, does that count as delivery?
I mean, like me or Chan making food.
Yeah, okay, just kidding.
But the issue is it's very difficult. Chan's a chef. She cooks all fucking day. And it would take crazy courage of me to say when she comes home, hey, Toots, make me some food, you know? It'd be ridiculous. I don't have those kind of balls.
No.
So we did especially, we ate out a lot. Like when we budgeted our money when we were talking about buying a house, like the money we spent at restaurants was like absurd. So, but we've turned around on that, and I've been eating at home a lot more. So it's a hard corner to take, but I'm not in good health. Just honestly, I'm not. But it's not because of the beer. It's just because I'm just eat crappy, you know.
Well, you're getting better though. So
I'm getting better.
that's
Yes.
And I one thing I forgot to bring up during my thing. I know a lot of well, I know Nathan and Joe mentioned. I think a few other people did that they'll dump out the beers that they don't drink during the review. Mike and I have definitely dumped beers before, but usually it's due to the beer being like just awful. And actually, the plus side to being two guys reviewing at the same time, we don't have to dump the beers because
We cut it in half.
It's a good portion. And then sometimes even if it's bombers, if we have people over, we'll bring it up and share.
And we bring up and share with Carrie sometimes.
Yeah, if it's a sour, if it's a stout, we know we might as well just drink it without even asking.
Fair enough. All right.
Cool. So the next question, the loaded question.
I'm at the time.
Oh, yeah. This is the loaded question, which kind of goes back to the last question, right? How can you drink so much? Are you an alcoholic? No, definitely not. Like,
Nope.
I feel like if I was an alcoholic, I'd be drinking like the cheapest beer I can to get the quickest drunk, right? Like.
I guess.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are alcoholics that have the money to.
Oh, that's a fair point. That's valid. Yeah, that drink like high end scotches. But yeah, no, if I had to drink every single day to get through my day, I could see that maybe. But like, I'm not drinking to get drunk. I'm drinking to enjoy these beers. If I wanted to drink, I would drink everything around me and get as shitty as possible, and then rinse and repeat until the next day. Right? Like.
Yeah, how often do you ever drink like the same beer twice in a row? Like you sit down, have a beer, and have the same one next.
It's usually only if we go out to a bar that
Has crappy beer.
is yes.
And how often do me and you go to bars?
When was the last time we were at a bar? St. Patrick's Day.
And before that, maybe a year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that, I guess that's another way we say it. We don't go out often. Like,
No, we're in our 30s now. Those days are over.
we and when we try to go out, we just were like, well, this is just
Boring
yeah,
and
this is
horrible.
boring. You're up. Go ahead. Loaded question.
Yeah, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm really not. I do joke about it, which is kind of a serious thing. I shouldn't joke about it.
Yeah, no, I think we all like make jokes. And
Yeah.
it's definitely not a joking matter.
No, alcoholism is like a serious, like a major killer of people in
Yeah.
this country. But no, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm comfortable saying that. I feel like I drink beer because I like the taste, not because it's beer. And I don't drink often. It's probably it's every Friday for sure. Me and you do
Yeah.
these
And it
reviews.
goes without saying that, yeah, it is fun to get like a buzz going on. Like when we get out and hang out, this podcast is called Nerdsense, so we'll drink probably a little bit more than we should and watch some nerdy shit on TV. Like,
Yeah, but like, when's the last time you saw me like fucked up?
yeah, good point.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing because once I get a buzz, I stop kind of enjoying drinking. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know if it's this fear that I'm gonna end up like vomiting or something.
Yeah.
But I was never a vomiter.
No.
You know.
So
So I don't know. But I like getting a buzz, and then I stop.
yeah.
Here's what it is. All right, next.
Next question. Do you brew? Not as much as I used to. I recently just upgraded to an all grain kit and messed up my first all grain brew. So the weather has been kind of shitty. We live in New England, so yeah. It's April now, so the weather's getting nicer. So I think we're going to be able to go outside and brew some more, which I'm really looking forward to. So answer that, yes.
We brew together.
Yours is his is the same answer.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah,
we brewed in the past.
I think I've only done 1 or 2 brews without him. So yeah.
That was one, right? Oh, plus that one you did at that store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What was your first beer?
Did you pass? What's your favorite ingredient?
Yeah, did. All right, we're gonna go back to number 6. No edits here. What's your favorite ingredient? This is difficult. It's either hops or yeast for me. I would say I'm gonna say hops, but I know yeast could be. I think I'm stealing Mike's answer here. Could be better than hops, but from my homebrewing experience, I haven't really thought about yeast so much in the homebrewing experience. So I've always thought about the hops I want to put in it. So hops, yeah. Like you can get with Citra, like the difference you get between like Citra and something like Topaz is night and day. Like the difference of like flavor profile, bitterness.
Especially depending on where the hops are added in the brewing.
Yeah. So hops.
It's impossible to answer this question without water, without yeast, without malt, without hops.
I was waiting for you to stop at water and be like, water is my favorite ingredient in beer.
Yeah, I mean, without any of those things, you don't have beer. You just don't.
Yeah.
So, like, it's easy to say, oh, hops, because I love my IPAs, and I love, like, the character you can get with depending on the hops you use, the combination, or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's the single hops, or with yeast, your Belgian yeast, you're going to get awesome.
All these different ale yeast that like do these that definitely add, like there's all these different ale yeast that do make these New England IPAs what they are. Like obviously the hops add something to it, but a lot of the times like if you change the yeast, you're gonna have a completely different beer.
For sure. So I mean, how do you pick one thing? You just can't.
Yeah.
You know, like without those main ingredients, you just don't have beer. So I love all of them.
I wish you said corn.
Corn, rice. If you like shitty beer.
Cool. All right, let's move back. Let's jump ahead to 8 now. What was your first beer?
My first beer, and I recall this as a kid, my dad handing me his beer to take a sip, and my mother going fucking mental. And I actually don't. I didn't hate it. That's a fact.
I hated it. I was like 4 or 5.
But then I think maybe like a week. It was sometime later, but it was in the same house. And we moved a lot when I was a kid. We were poor. But anyway, but it was in the same house. And I tried it again. My dad handed it to me. It was horrible. So I don't know what it was. But probably Budweiser or something. My dad never really strays too far from the macro.
Yeah, I feel like mine was Coors Light. That was my dad's drink of choice for a while. And I've actually got him into craft beer, which is good. But yeah, I definitely say Coors Light. And I added here, like, the first, I guess this goes back to question 1, but remember Pete's Wicked Ale? That was another big one.
Oh, the Strawberry Blonde.
I think that was another.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I think that was another, like, first craft, too. Like, I don't know. I
remember being in someone's basement, and we were in his basement, and that's the first time I had Pete's Wicked Ale. And
if you give me a Strawberry Blonde now, I'd be like, no.
What's the one I thought tasted like apricots? Do you remember which one that was? That's horrible.
Pete's Wicked Apricot Ale? I don't know.
Whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
I think everyone's first beer had to be Macro.
Yeah, well, I think most people stole their beer from their parents, right?
Yeah. Someone that did, I think it was Nitch. She said in a couple of years, you're going to have, if someone's answering these questions, they're going to be like, well, my first beer was Heady Topper.
Yeah. You don't know, like, the hell. Because, oh, God, I hated beer. I hated it. And the reason why I hated it is because I didn't know there was good beer.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know, like, I think, like the snootiest of our friends bought Pilsner Urquell.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to shit on that beer.
Rolling
It's like a Rolling Rock. I can probably drink Rolling Rock still. It's like drinking water. It's like drinking seltzer.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, it would have, my first beer was definitely a macro beer, and to bring back my first beer I loved, different, was Rogue Shakespeare Stout.
Yep. What is the next? Who in the beer world do you look up to?
And this is the last question, by the way.
This is the last question. Question number 9. Now, before I say this, I know a lot of people that watch these videos like to call us night shift shills and whatnot, but I'm going to say the night shift founders, Mike, and Rob, just because they've done so much, not just with the brewery and making the beer. Like they started out small, expanded more, and then expanded again, and then they kind of then they started their own distribution company that helps the little guys, and they don't have to get into deep, stupid contracts like all the other mass distributors. If you guys aren't aware, go Google the pay and play that happened in Boston a couple years ago with it was big with Pretty Things Brewing Company. Their pay and play is pretty much the reason why Pretty Things had to shut down. Night Shift, they just seem to be just doing the right stuff, and they're not doing it fast. Like they're not trying to rush to the finish line. Nope. They're like doing it in these small increments, and it's really interesting to watch what's going on with them. And more specifically, one of their founders, Rob Burns, he's now the president of the Mass Craft Brewers Guild. So it's like they've definitely they just have this influence, at least in New England, it seems.
Yeah, and absolutely true.
Go ahead.
I don't really have anyone I look up to, I don't think. Although you make a really strong case there. The only thing I have is John Kimmich from Alchemist. He is able to sell me on shit that I would never drink usually.
I love these stories.
His videos are like these little, they're like porn to me. It's ridiculous. Like it
really is true.
You'll send me these videos of this guy talking about whatever beer. Like the one the other day was Skadoosh.
Yep.
And it's like
it's hopping you never heard of.
Yeah, and
Denali,
I just sit there like watching these videos and I salivate. Yeah. It's ridiculous. His ability to sell me on it, he's a demon from the depths of hell.
Yep.
Yeah. I've had my share of like Alchemist stuff, and it's like I love Heady Topper and I love Focal Banger, but some of the stuff isn't that great. I mean, they have their, but God, you watch his videos.
You want a red ale.
You want the beer that last week you didn't like that much. It's ridiculous. So I mean, I look up to him as for his way to communicate with a beer drinker.
And I think without without him, I don't know, would we have this New England IPA craze without Heady?
Probably not. No, Heady, I think, from my understanding, Heady Topper was kind of like the burgeoning, like that's where it all started. I feel.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's me.
Yeah, I love that answer because I love every time I send you those videos. You're like, oh, fuck, man.
Yeah, I get so angry because it's the worst.
Those were our questions to those frequently asked questions. Now we got to tag 5 people that we want to see do this. I want to tag Eric and Eric at Mosky Homebrew, and then About Beverages. They haven't done a video in about a year.
It's a long time.
But like they were like one of the, I think before we even started deciding to do beer videos, they were one of the guys we were like one of the 2 that we were watching it. And sorry, but their names escape me right now. I haven't watched them so long. And then also Tasty Tales TV, they do a combination of beer, wine, and other like liquor stuff. So it's like a channel of multiple things. Craft Beer Temple, I think he just recently started posting again. He basically runs a craft beer shop in Chicago, and he posts some beer reviews and interviews. It's a really cool channel. If you haven't checked it out, I'll obviously link to these in the show notes. And last but not least, I didn't see anyone else tag him, and I'm really curious as to why. If there's something, if this is a faux pas, then you guys can let us know. We're kind of new to the beer tube scene, I guess. Last like year and a half, I think. So I'm just gonna tag Greg's beer reviews. Like, I want to know what his answers are.
He talks about it a little bit in his videos.
Yeah, he mentions it. A lot of the questions I think he does answer, but it'd be curious to just to see him bang
of course,
out.
Of course.
Cool. So those are our answers to your questions. I'm Sean.
I'm Mike.
This is Nerdsense Drinks.